What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I am Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson, and I am joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, my friend, how are you? How we feeling?
We're going to find out what the next chapter in this feud of the year is going to be with me and technology. I can't wait to, talk some wrestling again. Been down and out the last couple of days. I've had some migraine issues, so I appreciate you guys sticking with us. But we have a big show today. We got some big cards we need to recap and kind of dive into, and hopefully the technology works today.
Yeah. As much as I enjoy talking wrestling, I don't necessarily want to do it by myself for 17 minutes again. I appreciate that. Thank you. I definitely, it was just kind of a muscle memory autopilot sort of thing that I had going on. So I appreciate it.
I was watching it on my phone and Heather walked by. I was like, man, he sounds really good. So really good job. Eric needs all the praise he can get for carrying that last show. So really appreciate what you did, man.
Yeah, of course, buddy. Of course. Like you said, we had a pretty big weekend, Labor Day weekend. Everybody wants to take advantage of it wrestling-wise. We had Payback on Saturday. We had All Out on Sunday. Big weekend, across the board for both companies. Let's just go ahead and get into this part very briefly because we know that it will be a theme as far as All Out goes. CM Punk was officially terminated. Yes. CM Punk was officially terminated by AEW. This was a massive move here, and you know what? Okay, look. I'm not taking sides in this issue whatsoever. Okay, that's to put those words in my mouth and to make the inference or assumption that I for some reason am taking somebody's side on this entire issue is just not something that we're going to do here today. However. This was a decision here, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but Chris's face is frozen in this one direction.
Awesome.
That was good. It's man, technology's so far getting the upper hand here today for you, bud.
It's the Rock Austin feud.
Hey, I like it. But real talk,
week, folks.
Good. Real talk, CM Punk gone from AEW. I know that you and I talked a little bit about this. You told me about this and it surprised the hell out of me. Right choice by Tony Khan, yes or no?
Yes. I think it had gotten to the point he never felt unsafe in his forward. It was such a big moment.
So I think podcast dad has frozen up again. His voice will come back in here soon enough, but I think when it comes to this particular situation, from what I could hear of what he said, you don't want anybody to feel unsafe at a show, regardless of whether you are a talent, regardless of whether you're a fan, security, working concessions. Everybody should feel comfortable in that space. So to have heard what we heard about how this took place, why it took place, an argument over the use of real glass or not on a collision taping, Jack Perry wanting to get himself some heat, which, I think that some people can, we can understand that in some respects, but, it just seems like this is just another controversial incident that has taken place involving CM Punk, in which physical altercation has taken place. And it's different from Brawl Out last year because this was behind closed doors and no one really kind of saw who threw the first punch or what was going on. But this was in front of the CEO, general manager, head of creative, Tony Khan. So I do think that this is the choice that needed to be made here. It's unfortunate, but everybody should feel safe, at a wrestling show, again, regardless of what you do for that company or that promotion or why you're in that building. So I guess if Choops, if you can hear me, the question I have for you is this the end of CM Punk in professional wrestling?
I can hear you. Hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, well, then we're just not going to see me again today, guys. I'm sorry. I looked and I tried to look as beautiful as I could for you, but the technology is just fighting hard for this. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I do think this is Punk's last foray into wrestling for a while. He's burned way too many bridges. I think he's burned the bridge with WWE. Like Triple H doesn't want to bring him back. That's not happening. Maybe
Yeah.
further down the road, does Tony Khan open the door back up? I don't know. I don't see who brings him back because at this point, I let you know that he's more trouble than he's worth at this point. Yes, he moves numbers. Yes, he moves, but if you have locker room
Yeah.
hate what they do and hate their jobs, it's not worth it. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to create an environment like that, and especially because when you think about everything that they did to bring CM Punk back into the fold, even after last year and Brawl Out, Collision was basically made to keep him on the roster, but to keep him away from the elite, and that's why there was the soft brand split to kind of keep these respective camps, as far away from each other as possible. And for the most part, it seemed to work. But I mean, the fact that you had to build a show around somebody just to keep him there, to keep them away from other people that don't want to work with him, it set a really, really bad tone for the locker room. And I'm glad that Tony made this decision. I'm sure, excuse me, I know it wasn't easy. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it is, but this was absolutely the right call. I think that any independent promotion would trip over themselves to bring Punk in for a date or two, but I don't necessarily see him doing
How much
a
is that going
full
to cost?
time. I know. I mean, it's not going to be cheap. Like, and I mean, I'm not saying that, but I think that is the only way he stays involved in wrestling if he wants to, do that. But I don't necessarily see him on a company show with weekly television anymore. I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, I think it's done. I think it's over. I've seen enough of Punk. You've seen enough of Punk. It's I don't need it in wrestling anymore. He was
Yeah.
he was a big star for a while. He was that shooting star for a while. It eventually kind of blew up in everyone's faces and just kind of is what it is at this point. I think wrestling will be, I won't say better without him, but I think it'll be fine without him. I don't think
Yeah.
he's the main thing in AEW, and we learned they can still show even on the card. I think AEW will be better without him, without that action in their locker room.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a crappy end to what was supposed to be a very special return after 7 years away. It is what it is. Phil, Chick Magnet, thank you for your services. I'm just going to take a sip of my Coke real quick.
I'll take a sip of my coffee that you guys can't see because this computer is going to make me throw it out the window here in a second.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was doing the show with John Cena today. But speaking of John Cena was the host of Payback Saturday night. What did you think about his involvement in the show, bud?
Yeah, it was good. I have in my notes here, the LA Knight rub for Cena was awesome. That's a good endorsement for LA Knight because I'm sure John went to management and said, "Here's what I want to do on this show," and that just the image of John Cena with LA Knight is now going to have people go, oh, "Okay, he's a big deal," and it's good that he didn't get super involved in the match and help LA Knight win, but again, just that image of John Cena, the
Very
biggest
so.
star in the company the last 10, 15 years, with someone that the fans love, and now everybody loves John Cena because he's on that legend territory. It can be, all right, Cena's behind our guy. Now everybody can be behind our guy. And I think now the company is now going to push LA Knight towards the moon.
Yeah, for sure. Let's back up just a little bit on that card. The opener of this match, Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, steel cage match. Becky's been in several steel cage matches. This is Trish's first in her career. I loved this as an opener. They got about 20 minutes for this. Why couldn't we get this at SummerSlam? It was great.
Not enough time, pal.
They could have made the time.
With the time that they got, I'm glad it wasn't shoved onto a SummerSlam because it wouldn't have been this long. I'm happy that they got to open the card, kind of start off the card with a bang. They wouldn't have been able to do that at a SummerSlam. A couple notes that I have is you know, glad they got to come out and start the show with the cage match. Like I said, come out, start the show with a bang, and say, hey, this is gonna set the tone for the night. That Trish spot was crazy, where she was hanging upside down and slammed on the back end of that. That was a
Yeah.
scary spot, even for a 47-year-old woman to do, and she looks fantastic doing it, and looked like it was nothing. Um, the hematoma on her head, like I don't remember when that
Dude.
happened, but it was very, very
Yeah.
noticeable. I don't know if you saw her post on social media today, but she is all kinds of bruised up.
Oh, I
So
did. Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean,
we,
that's a testament to her and what she's been able to do with this most recent run with WWE because I mean, she didn't really have anything to prove. It's just she wanted to come back and work with this new crop of talent, and I can't say that I blame her. I mean, imagine if we had a Becky Lynch or a Trish Stratus or Asuka, Bianca. I mean, all of them in that same early 2000s generation of performers. The things that they could have done where main events were still a novelty for the women and these gimmick matches were a novelty for the women. So to come back and just to say, I want to see if I still have it and if I can do it with today's crop of talent, it just speaks volumes to her love for professional wrestling. And I think that, I mean, this was probably the best match of her 2023 run. I mean, hands down.
yeah, and it kind of gives hope for someone that may retire a little early and wants to go start a family like she did, and
Yeah.
be able to come back and have another run. Um, it'll be interesting to see what's next for her. They obviously did the Zoe break with her. Does that
Yeah.
mean, does Zoe Stark's feud with Trish? It looks like I don't know that the Becky and Trish feud is done. Never say
Thank
never
God.
with this feud, but this looks to be done. I'm glad Becky went over. She needed to go over, kind of reestablish her as that big top main event women's star. Like they did the Tiffany tease with Becky, they did the
I
Zoe
love that.
tease with
I love
Trish.
that.
So it seems
Yeah.
like they're gonna that's the end of the feud. Where does Zoe go from here? And are we getting the Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch NXT title match?
Yeah, I think, let me preface that by saying I think that it's much more likely that we get Becky versus Tiffany than Zoe versus Trish. I'm not ruling that out. It's just, I think that with the way that WWE has been using Raw and SmackDown stars to go back to NXT as part of their formula to help with ratings, Becky Lynch is one of the bigger names that has not returned yet. We saw Charlotte do that a couple of years ago with Rhea for the NXT Women's Championship, but it is different this time because Becky was the only one of the horsewomen to not be NXT Women's Champion at the time that they were all there. So to have her go back and do that now, I think would be awesome because there is a generation of women in NXT that Becky would have incredible chemistry with. Tiffany Stratton. Let's look at Roxanne Perez here. She could probably get a lot more out of Gigi Dolan, JC Jane in some sort of multi-person tag team action. There's just infinite ways that they can use her and use that Becky Lynch rub to give somebody some credibility. We've seen Edge mixing it up with Grayson Waller on the main roster. We're seeing the John Cena LA Knight thing. This is how you need to use your talent across all of these shows in order to make all of them, especially if Nick Khan wants to make NXT feel on par with Raw and SmackDown, this is the way to do it. So I just, I don't think that they put, think about it, if you're Tiffany Stratton this past week, one, you are in the crowd at Raw for that main event Falls Count Anywhere match. And then two, you have a backstage interaction with Becky Lynch. This match is happening. Now, as far as Zoe and Trish, even though there is that Z360 at the end, I could see that being a clean split. Everybody just moves on. Trish goes away for a while,
Yeah.
just to see, if there's anything that she might want to do that might be left for her. I certainly don't think that she would need to make a decision on that right now. Zoe Stark, I love her in this heel role, so I'm not really ready for a babyface turn. I see this more of just kind of a screw you, I'm done, I'm moving on kind of thing.
Yeah, thanks for the rub. Now I'm gonna go do my own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like that what Tiffany said backstage was like, I thanked Asuka and Charlotte and Bailey, and then I thanked you, and then I remembered you didn't win the title, and that's enough motivation for Becky to go, all right, let me go down there and let me win this title. Do
Yeah.
you think having two main roster people hold NXT titles is too much?
Not really. Um, and I know that, and this is where it goes back to my point in my enjoyment of the Heritage Cup, because we know that Dirty Dom is getting the Judgment Day is getting all the love when it comes to all three shows right now. So Dom holding that title just doesn't bother me. He'll defend it, I think, more frequently than Becky would defend a women's championship. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't necessarily see an issue with it because, again, Heritage Cup, there's other ways to showcase talent on the show. Even without them being in championship contention, there's other ways to kind of work around that. Even building a tournament to determine who takes on Dom, or let's just say Becky were to win the women's championship down the line. There's other ways to go about it to see who is worthy of getting that rub. Because even with Dom putting him on NXT, you're getting the rub from Dominic Mysterio. Didn't think we'd be saying that so early in his career, but it matters, So no, I'm perfectly fine with main roster coming in, having the occasional run with it, because when you think about it with Becky, that's if she were to win the women's championship, that's not going to be a lengthy run at all. That's just a kind of nostalgia, come back, welcome home tour, and then back to the main roster. Dom, this is just Judgment Day running WWE right now.
All right, that's fair. All right, real quick, I'm going to see if we can get me back on camera. All right, we'll see if it works. Stay with us, folks.
All right,
stay with us.
All right.
My connection says 10 out of 10.
So far, so good. So
We'll
far, so
happens.
good. All right. So next up, we did talk about this one a little bit more. LA Knight defeating The Miz by pinfall. Here's what stuck out to me about this match. I don't necessarily think of lengthy 15-plus minute encounters when I think LA Knight and when I think The Miz. Certainly not when they're together. And then it hit me. Miz had one of his, this is probably the best match of Miz's 2023. And then that was that Monday Night Raw with Rollins. That it was just kind of that. Here's a reminder of what he knows how to do. He got the best out of LA Knight, who again, we're not seeing him put on 15-minute classics. That's just not what he does, and that's not how he's presented. But this was a pretty great match. Cena played his part to a T. Got involved only when he needed to. Didn't make anything about him. I think that it was a very a very subtle and understated ref presence from Cena, and especially when we didn't know what it was that he was going to be doing as part of this show. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, this whole thing was a test for LA Knight. Like, go out there, you're going to wrestle 15 minutes with a guy that's been doing it for 20 years. John Cena is going to be the special guest referee. No pressure. Go out there and have a great match. And I think he stepped up to the plate. I think he knocked it out of the park. There were a few things that, looked a little sloppy towards the end, but, that's fatigue setting in. Overall, like, this match was fine. It wasn't match of the night. It wasn't match of the weekend, anything like that. But I think it did what it needed to do and get LA Knight over, get LA Knight the rub from John Cena, get him a big win on a pay-per-view. And now we're going to start to see kind of what the follow steps are going to be. Like, what's he doing next month? Is it another match with The Miz, or is it an Austin Theory? Like, what is the next step for LA Knight? Because I think just the way, reading the tea leaves, I think the company's getting behind him a little bit more. And again, I don't think John Cena posing with him was an accident. Yeah, that was a vote of confidence from John Cena to say, push this guy. Let's get going. Yeah. So, nothing spectacular, but I think it did what it needed to do.
Yeah, and it's. I don't know. I think we're about halfway through this match when it kind of hit me like, oh, this isn't over yet. Like they're still okay. They're going to get some time to work here, and I'm totally good with that. Again, these are not necessarily guys that you think of putting on these workhorse, classics that we're used to seeing, and with other stars. So this was cool. Got everything done they needed to do. LA Knight is more over than yet ever. When you think of that spot when he goes and does his elbow, it just man, those pops just. They're not getting any quieter, and I love that for him. And I don't know. I would like to. I hope that this is the start of something cool. There's still there's a lot of time left here in this, rest of 2023 here. Only 2 pay-per-views. It's 3 technically if you want to count, I guess, in the India show. So we're looking at 3: Survivor Series, Super Showdown, and then Fastlane next month. So there's a lot of time for LA Knight to shine here. Is it too early to consider him for Royal Rumble?
I wouldn't pick him for the Royal Rumble because I think Gunther's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
I think he's going to get a big spot in the Royal Rumble.
Fair. All right.
I could see LA Knight being Money in the Bank next year. I think that's where we're headed. I don't think Rumble's because who's he going to go against? Roman? He's not going to beat Roman.
No, he's not going to Roman,
and he's not going to beat Seth. He's not there yet.
Okay.
At least for me.
No, that's fine. I think that's a bold assumption to assume that Seth is still going to be champion by the time we get there.
Who do you think would be champion? And do you think LA Knight could match up well with that champion?
I will reserve that for when we talk about our main event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I'm all for LA Knight getting this push. I really am.
Oh, I know you are.
I don't want it to happen too fast and then fail miserably.
Sure.
I don't want them I don't want them to Otis him.
I feel like that would be damn near impossible to do.
They can find a way. They've done it with plenty of people.
I mean, I'm not saying that hasn't, but I think that LA Knight is almost an exception in and of himself because, I mean, yes, Otis was white hot, but were you going to put a microphone in his hand and say, go talk for, 5, 6, 7 minutes and keep the crowd, like all of that? Otis couldn't do that.
Damien
Sandow. And I think, all right, moving on to the next match, Rey Mysterio defeated Austin Theory for the United.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like
I know that.
I've seen this story. LA Knight has been one of the most, one of the best stories that we've seen in years in wrestling about how organically he's getting over. I would rather him go the route of a Daniel Bryan where they have to do it now rather than, I hope they do it soon. Force the hand. That's where I'm at this point of we have to do it. Like it's not, let's try it. No, we have to do it because he's just too over. And right now I don't think he's too over yet. I think he'll get there.
Okay.
But I want to be patient because I don't want him to fizzle out. That's where I'm at. There's another one too that I was thinking about is Ryback. You remember how over Ryback was?
Oh God.
I'm just saying. Do you remember?
I do. Yes, I remember how over he was. Yes,
and they failed on that one too. They had something there, and then they turned him heel.
Yeah, well,
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I get it.
Mr. Cincinnati doesn't like when I do that.
No, I have at it. I'm just fine. Whatever. Next up, Rey Mysterio defeats Austin Theory, United States Championship. This match was what it was. I don't think that anybody thought the Theory. Yeah,
I thought this was Theory's best match.
I didn't really care enough to. I mean, I'll take your word for it.
I thought Rey got the best out of Austin Theory in this match. Like this was one of those matches where I'm watching it and I'm like, I'm watching an Austin Theory match. Like, no, I think Rey Mysterio pulled a really good match out of him, and it almost gives me hope that there's something there with Austin Theory. There is. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's character change. I think if, you pair him up with maybe like a Tiffany Stratton, that might work. We've talked about pairing him up with different people, like do a Ken and Barbie kind of thing. That would be...
Go back to the way,
Or something like that. But like this match, I thought was a good pay-per-view quality match. Again, was it match of the year, match of the weekend? No, but like I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it. It was what it was. I didn't think that there was. I mean, Theory was not going to win this match. Okay, no. Bloom is off that rose. Experiment's over. Find something else to do with him. Rey Mysterio knows how to get a great match out of anybody. Mm-hmm. Also, when you try to get a great match too out of Austin Theory, if you knew that you're probably going to get a little bit extra of that payday because of that cinnamon toast crunch money coming in.
Yeah, I did see that. That was funny. I love the
So,
the ending shot when Ray's well with the LWO, and then you see the cinnamon toast crunch in the background.
oh
I'm like,
yeah,
what?
yeah,
What year is it? What am I doing?
yeah, exactly. I mean, hey,
Wrestling.
go make that sponsorship money.
Yes. No. I go back, give it a chance. This was a good match. That's
I'll
my
watch it again, but
suggestion.
fine,
I
okay.
know. I know. I
You're just
know.
full of them today. Whatever.
I missed you.
Aw, thoughtful.
Been down and out the last couple days, man. I'm ready.
You
I'm ready to
have,
go.
you have, yeah. But this next one, I gotta say, I'm
Banger.
surprised. It was great. This was. I don't know. This is a 1A 1B situation for me as far as match of the night, and
Yeah.
I mean this
I'd say
was
match of the
this was
night.
the right kind of. Okay. Yeah, Judgment Day defeated Kevin and Sammy, undisputed tag team championships. Steel City Street Fight. Loved, loved, loved the spot with Finn Balor and the terrible towels. You know,
Hmm.
that
I know
was
you
good.
did.
That was good.
I know you
I
did.
greatly appreciated that.
Yeah, I know you
Yeah,
did.
it was nice.
Of course,
Yeah,
Mr.
made me
Cincinnati
all
loved it.
warm and fuzzy in my tum tum. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I
Are
wrote
you?
down,
Yeah. Go ahead.
was this the best hardcore match in years in this company? This was
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, this was certainly better than the one that they branded a Terry Funk,
Yeah,
Invitational or
no.
whatever they called it a couple of weeks ago,
This
where they
one
have
was the
one
Terry
table.
Funk
But
tribute.
yeah, this was, I mean, Kevin Owens getting color, which we haven't seen
Long
in a
since
very
Brock.
long time. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
who before
that was,
Brock? Was it Roman at one Mania? I guess
uh,
Finn bled at WrestleMania in the Hell in a Cell, but we didn't look at it.
yeah, but I mean, that's like as yeah, that's true. I was also thinking the old Brock opening Randy the hard way with the elbows.
Yeah, but they
But yeah,
stopped the
because
match.
yeah, I mean, I just didn't see because I still didn't see exactly what happened that he did
I
end up
didn't
with the
either.
color, but it was just a cool visual when they pop back up
Yeah.
in their pens unis and are just like, I mean, okay, he's just bloody as hell, and now we're just gonna start
Yeah.
beating people with hockey sticks. Like that was great. That swanton spot made my kidneys just ugh. I bet if
Dude,
his could talk, they'd be screaming right now.
that is going to be in highlight reels for the
Yeah,
rest of time. That
he
view that
took
they
all
had,
of that.
it was
He
awesome.
took
No,
all of that.
this match was fun, and that
Yeah,
I think when you talk about a Terry Funk tribute match, this was what it was. This was much better because this match was it was
yeah,
chaotic. There was so much going on that you couldn't look away. It was like a car crash. Like you just couldn't like
yeah,
what is going to happen next, and McDonough getting involved, that plays into the story. The Judgment Day winning, I think, was the right call because I think it's
yeah,
time for Owens and Zayn to move on. I think they get a
yeah.
rematch and then let's go our separate ways. I don't know what they do afterwards. Do they split up? Do they go down to NXT for a minute? Like, what is their plan? But I think Judgment Day winning is the right call because you've already planted the seeds of dissension. Now let's get it back together. Let's make them strong
Yeah.
again because it's still there in the back of
Yeah.
Finn's head. It's still there.
Yeah.
And JD's going to worm his way into Judgment Day,
Yep.
and it eventually will blow up again. But let's have some harmony for the next couple months and let Judgment Day dominate the WWE.
Yeah, I mean, because and when you think about it, especially with it being tag team championships, let's say that Finn and Priest lose them like 2 weeks from now, just sake of this argument. Priest is still Mr. Money in the Bank. They all still have an accolade, so Finn will become a little bit more unhinged of like, okay, I had gold, now everybody else does around me. Like, what do I do about that? He definitely. I don't think that there's. I think that there's some mistrust between Finn and Priest as well. So it's going to be one of those. Okay, I'll bring JD into the fold because he'll at least kind of keep an eye on what
He's got my
Priest is
back.
doing when I'm not around, and there is that relationship within there, and then you've got Dom and Rhea, who are basically attached at the hip at this point. So you have to think that any split is going to, they're going to be their own thing should, fracture. And there's too many different things that you can do with this particular story. So I have no problem with this. I like a run with everybody having all the gold. Bloodline got the same treatment. This just says that there's a lot of faith in Judgment Day to carry the mantle now that we're starting to see the end of the bloodline and people taking breaks and trying out something new. So I'm definitely here for it.
I mean, technically, they all don't have gold because those title belts are silver.
Fair.
But
Okay.
I hate those title belts. Can we get?
Championships.
You think we get new title belts? We have to, right?
It'd be nice.
Time.
I mean, I don't.
Those titles suck.
Something with just another giant company logo on it again.
That's fine. It's better than the silver dollar daisies we got. I hate those titles. I hated them when they introduced them. The bronze, I hated those titles.
That was more copper, I think, than bronze, but
whatever. They suck.
look like pennies.
No, they're terrible. Like they are the ugliest titles. Like I would prefer the New Japan Television title over these titles. These titles, like now you have silver on red and blue straps. They look terrible. They look awful. Move on. Move on from different titles.
I mean, we can get another championship unveiling where it's essentially the same belt that they've unveiled like the last 18 times,
and you'll buy one.
That's not the point. That's not the point. Okay, I don't have the largest belt collection that there is. Okay, however, I'm due to pick one up.
I know you will. You already got one up there. Don't give me that.
I got a couple up there. Got a few.
Yeah,
I think I represent both companies rather equally.
Well, 3-1.
Oh,
they can't see. They can't see it.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, fair enough. That's all right.
He's an AEW stan.
Yeah, whatever. Unashamed. It's okay to like both, everybody. Just in case nobody is yes, it is. In case nobody's told you that, it is okay to like both.
The fact we started with Payback, well, it means we're going to get less views. You know that.
Yeah, but look at my shirt. It at least tells you that you hate
CM Punk.
I do not hate CM Punk. For the record, I do not hate CM Punk. I am just glad that this like the Elite better. Over. There you go. That's yeah. Oh, well.
I'm fired up today. I'm sorry.
I can tell. No, it's fine. It's fine. I like this.
All right, quick question before we move on.
Of course.
Where do you think Sammy and Kevin go? Your fantasy or your booking. What are you going to do with them next?
I don't know. I think that it would be too easy and too predictable to do a split right now. If you wanted to save that for the Rumble or something, build to a one-on-one, I think that's a nice bookend to how this last year has gone for them. Mm-hmm. So I would agree with you. I think that, maybe one more shot at the tag straps just to give them that finality, for Judgment Day, have them establish their dominance. But I don't necessarily want to see them in the tag team ranks either. I would love to see, either one of those guys going after the Intercontinental Championship, doing so. I could see Sammy doing a little bit more work with Jey Uso now that he's going to be on Raw. Spoiler alert, that's what happened on the Grayson Waller effect. If you hadn't watched it, my bad. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Raw is about 7 hours away at this, six hours away at this point. It'll be really interesting to see how they do interact with each other, Kevin and Sammy, because it's not like they necessarily teased any dissension in the ranks or anything like that. But is this, I could see this being something where as time goes on, that prize fighter gear starts to spin in KO's head again and says, all right, well, I did the tag team thing. I got my friend out of a crappy situation with the bloodline. I've done my job for him. And now it's back to me doing what I have to do. And that's, chase my own championships, especially with Raw having its own championship now. Nothing is off the table for these two, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I don't think it needs to be a turn. I think it's just, hey, we did our thing. We lost. See you down the road. If you need my help again, just let me know. But we're going to go our separate ways, do our separate things. Like, I'd love to see Sammy and Gunther feud over the IC title. I don't know why. I just think that would be I think that'd just be a great match, a great feud.
Yeah.
And then Owens can go and whether that's a continue with the Judgment Day, or maybe he goes to like a Bronson Reed or something like that and help get him elevated, or something with Tommaso Ciampa or something like
Yeah.
that. I just think singles is the way that these two guys need to go moving forward.
I also would like to. I think what could also be fun, just because we've not, at least I don't remember a one-on-one match with them since Takeover Dallas. This new Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn going at it for old time's sake would be a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
we'll definitely talk about their presentation of Nakamura as we talk about the main event here in a little while. But that could be I mean, I would watch that match 1,000 times over. Give it to me.
Yeah, that would be really, really good.
Yeah.
I agree.
Any final thoughts on the street fight before we move on to the next match?
Yeah, if you're gonna watch anything from Payback, go watch this. It was just fun, absolute chaos, and I think it's right around 20 minutes or so, but doesn't feel like it at all. Great match. Great match.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Next up, we had and I'm pretty sure I've got this in the right order, but Grayson Waller Effect.
Mhm.
Guest is Cody Rhodes. I was a bit surprised at the turn that this segment took. I didn't see it coming. As far as, Cody comes out, does his thing, attempts to, do his usual, what do you want to talk about? Grayson's like, we're not doing this, blah, 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 blah. And then Cody has a scoop, says there's a new guy joining the main roster on Raw, and that's Jey Uso. So it looks like the Usos are officially split. Good for them. I expected more out of this segment. I expected a lot more out of this segment. This could have easily been something you say for tomorrow night or tonight now.
Yeah, I was a little confused because I thought that Cody was going to SmackDown. I thought that's what he was announcing when he first kind of started with it.
Okay.
And then, Jey Uso's over to Raw. And you notice that Cody never left. He was standing at the ramp when Jey Uso was doing his thing in the ring.
No, he definitely did. And
does that mean those two are going to have a program? We'll see. Was it the best way to utilize Cody? I mean, he got out and they got to sing the song and do the pop, and he's on the show. But yeah, this did feel like a Raw segment. I don't know if they thought it was big enough because it was Jey Uso and because he'd been gone for 3 weeks. He hasn't been gone very long.
No, I would have rather they saved that for maybe Fastlane. At least write him off a credible period of time, just to if you're gonna quit, like quit. But I don't know.
Yeah, the segment was fine. Like Jey Uso's on Raw now. They split the Usos. Jimmy had an interesting night on Friday where a lot of people are divided on what's going on. I will say, give it time. They've been doing this story for 3 years. Give it time. Let's see what happens. But we will see what this next chapter looks like for Jey Uso over on Raw. I think what he's done really, really well is he's got a taunt, that where he goes up and down, like with the crowd. Like that was.
I mean, they bought into that real quick. Yeah.
Yes, and it gives crowd interaction between him, LA Knight, the guy singing the theme songs and everything. Like that is how you get over, is if you have something that the crowd can do with you. So good job on Jey Uso to get that over and get the crowd doing it with him. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think this question always comes when we're looking at splitting up a tag team and giving them a try in the singles run. We always kind of wonder who's going to have the better run. Who is the Shawn Michaels? Who's the Marty Jannetty? Who's the Jeff Hardy? Who's the Matt Hardy? Who's the Edge? Who's the Christian? It's going to be very different with Jimmy and Jey Uso here, I feel like. I mean, a lot of why I think it's easy to buy into Jey over Jimmy is because, one, he's already had that main event moniker. Two, he's already had the opportunity to take advantage of singles runs when Jey was either on the shelf legitimately or if they kayfabe write him out of TV for something. We've seen what they can do with Jey. I'm a little hesitant to get on board the Jimmy train just because we've not really seen it. And I don't know. I hope that he rises to the occasion. I really do, because I mean, this is gonna be a culture shock. I mean, they've been a tag team. I mean, yes, obviously all of their lives, but as far as WWE, that's all that they've ever known is for these last 15 years. Is this is just what they've done?
Yeah, and I think the story is Jimmy is trying to get Solo out from under the thumb of Roman, and that we haven't seen the Jimmy versus Roman match yet, and I think that's something that I'd be into. I'd watch it. I'd see what happens.
Yeah,
I obviously don't think Jimmy's going to win, but yeah, like you said with Jay, I mean, dude's main event of the SummerSlam, so I think they have confidence in him. How he's going to do without Roman will be a test, and we'll see what happens. And hope if they built a new single star, that's good. They need those
for sure. Especially because now moving him away from the bloodline entirely, it's fresh crop of faces. He can do just about anything that he wants. There's an old reliable partner in Sami Zayn should he need to go back into the tag team ranks. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right, Rhea.
Let's see what else we got here. Rhea Ripley defeating Raquel Rodriguez. I keep wanting to call her Raquel Gonzalez all the time. So if I do that and interchange, I know.
Don't you do it.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, pal.
Yeah, so this was, I mean, they've got history from the NXT days. I mean, this is a great co-main event. Rhea's just doing the best work of her career right now. I'm glad that we're finally starting to see a right proper Raquel singles run after having been mired in the tag team division for so long. Mm-hmm. There's definitely more to this story, so I hope that we get another match or two out of this.
Yeah, what I wrote down was Rhea felt like she was actually challenged in this match. There were some moments, where she's going for a shoulder block and Raquel knocks her down, and that's whoa, hey, all right, I can't just dominate like I usually do. And then like this felt like a program for Rhea, like an actual program, an actual rivalry, an actually believable contender for that championship. Go away, keep building Raquel up, and then come back to this. And I think you have a very legit program to run with these two ladies. It just felt more than what we've gotten with like a Natalya. With as much as they were able to build up Zelina for that match, it didn't feel like Zelina was going to win. This one, while it didn't feel like Raquel was going to win this match, it felt like, okay, I could see Raquel winning a future match. So this is a rivalry that they need to continue to play with.
Yeah, I agree. Especially as we, look towards War Games or Survivor Series, we just hope the War Games is going to be a part of that and still trying to figure out how they want to flesh out those teams for the men's and women's divisions. I could easily see either one of these two captaining a team in November. So
I can't wait to see CM Punk come back at Survivor Series.
God. All right. You have to.
He doesn't hate CM Punk.
You have to stop. I don't hate CM Punk. I do not hate CM Punk.
He just doesn't want him around.
I not anymore. Not anymore. I appreciate everything that CM Punk has done for the world of professional wrestling. However, it's just been a lot in the last year, okay?
I was going to say, sidebar before we get to the main event. Did you see Tony Khan's face when they asked him if he had a non-compete clause?
No, I didn't watch the media scrum.
Yeah, it looked like Tony had seen a ghost. Like, oh, crap, I forgot about that.
I mean...
It was hilarious.
Okay, all right. I guess this is why we should watch the media scrums after shows.
I didn't watch it. I just
so
saw
long, man.
I just saw it.
Yeah.
No, it was funny because you could see it in Tony's face, like, the one thing I forgot out of everything I've done.
Yeah.
But
well,
he's not coming to WWE.
Yeah,
he's not.
No, I just it's not worth the headache or the investment anymore. It just they've got a great roster right now. They're finally
both sides. Both companies have a great roster where they have people that are underutilized. They don't need him.
Yeah. And that's, especially on the WWE side where it finally feels like for the first time in a long time, we have moved away from okay, we've got a big 4 or big 5 show coming up. Okay, what Hall of Famer can I bring in for a little story arc? Oh, WrestleMania season. Okay, who can I, They have the rosters. I don't think that they need to bring him in to do anything. There is no culture that needs to be changed right now in WWE. Please don't change the culture.
No, I don't need Goldberg on my Big Four anymore. God, do you remember it was like 2 or 3 years where Goldberg was on every Big Four, and I was like, I just don't.
Yeah.
Wasn't it SummerSlam, him and Ziggler? Like, what is the point?
Yeah.
Eat it.
Oh,
main event time.
Yeah. It is main event time. Seth freaking Rollins defeating Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I want to start
wow.
By yeah. I mean, yes, wow. However, I got to change the ticker graphic here again just because I think that it's appropriate. Please invite Seth Rollins to the Met Gala next year. I mean, how can you not? Like that is the most fashionable man in wrestling right now, and that hasn't changed. I love that. And then for Nakamura, why did it take them 7 years to present him like this? Not only did the pre-taped promos where he gets to speak in his native tongue, and then they just use the subtitles, perfection. The animated intro that awesome. He got to tell the story of why we got to this match,
that was
chef's
awesome.
Kiss. And then the fact that you've got Cole and Graves putting over, this is the guy that was tearing things up in Japan. This is that sinister, just dastardly. Like, why did it take so long to get there? It shouldn't
have. Because Vince McMahon doesn't know how to book foreign talent.
Not in the way that, I mean, he doesn't do it in the most PC way.
I mean, Yokozuna was a Samoan that they booked as a Japanese sumo wrestler.
Samoan named Rodney.
Yeah. I wrote down, and I wrote, and I'm going to read you my exact note. Please have Muta and Nakamura have something together. Whether that's Muta blessing him in a segment, saying you may use the mist or something like that, or giving him the mask or some kind of presence on a promo. Like, these two have history together. Muta is in your Hall of Fame as a legend. You paid him to come to Pittsburgh. Yeah. Come on, please. That presentation with the great Muta and Nakamura, when Nakamura, spoiler alert, when Nakamura beat Seth Rollins at Fastlane, that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I like that presentation with those two together would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised, because I think it was you that told me that he was in Pittsburgh for the show. So, when main event comes on and he's just sitting in the front row, he's in a white t-shirt and a hat, no mask, no nothing. It's just like, that's it. Like, I mean, even Jushin Thunder Liger got to wear got to wear the gear and do all of that. I mean, even he got a trophy snatched out of his hand. Like,
yeah, Muta still got more TV time than Jushin did.
Yeah, I mean, so it's WWE knows how to maximize them dollars.
Well, yeah, sometimes. Match was good. Nakamura felt like a real threat for the title, and if you would have said that 6 months ago, I'd have told you were crazy. But
and this is all on a 3 or 4 week build.
Yeah, it's not like it was anything crazy. They just, different presentation. He was great. Seth wins, and that's fine. I expected Seth to win, but they did have the post-match beatdown that was after the show that didn't air on the show.
Oh, wait, what?
Yes. Did you not see this?
No, do tell.
Yeah, so Seth's walking out, and Nakamura attacks him from behind, hits him with a Kinshasa in the back of the head, then starts stomping on him, then they pull him away, and then Nakamura comes back, takes Seth, rams him up against the stage, and that's how Nakamura leaves. So this is not done.
Good.
That's why I think Nakamura is going to beat him at Fastlane. I really, really do, because I think they have caught fire with Nakamura.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing, I think what I enjoy is that the crowd is still very much behind him too, because even as his music hits, they're still singing along with it, even though he's very clearly working as the heel in this match. So I just, it's a breath of fresh air to have Nakamura finally at a spot on the card where he should have been all along. It stinks that it took so long and titles had to be unified and a new world championship had to be created in order to have some of these people get these opportunities that they should have in the first place. But Nakamura, I mean, this has probably been the best program of his entire WWE run. And this is including the fact that he got the road to WrestleMania story, just
which was
that finished just, very lackluster. But this feels like something here. And, I think I very much enjoy how when it comes to Rollins and this back injury, the lines are being blurred so hard as far as, how legit is this injury? How long has it been dealing with this injury? I think that, you've said before you didn't necessarily want to see or need to see Seth with a lengthy run with this world championship, but he has done enough as the essentially MVP of Raw all of 2022 going into 2023 and getting the chance to be the first world heavyweight champion and defending it literally all over the globe. If he did lose at Fastlane, much like Kevin and Sami losing this month, I would be okay with it because we know that they have done it against a very well-built challenger, and that's what Nakamura is. And, I mean, he will only get darker as, if he becomes champion, and he'll do whatever it takes to hold on to that belt for sure.
And like, do it now because, Nakamura's 43 years old, I think. Like, do it now. This is your chance to pull the trigger, have that great Nakamura championship run. That's why you signed him. He was a big star in New Japan. Give him the main title. Seth has established this title as a big deal. That was the whole point of Seth winning the title, was to establish it, make it feel like a big deal. It's now main event at a PLE. I'm ready to go. It feels like a world champion because Roman's not here. But I think pull the trigger on Nakamura. This is different than, kind of what we said about LA Knight. The momentum with Nakamura is here now because of what we've seen, what they've done with Nakamura in the past.
Yeah.
Like, this is the best he's ever looked. Capitalize on it because he has looked not great before. I mean, I remember when we first started this, we were asking, where is Nakamura? And that was 6 months ago. And now he's, I think he has the ability to be the champion. And pair him up with Great Muta, and you got a heel dynamic. Maybe, squeeze Asuka in there, and you got something.
Yeah, because I mean, this is especially when we think about how WWE. I mean, I don't want to necessarily say forces, especially the Japanese superstars. We have seen them, have to go out and deliver promos in English where they don't necessarily look the most comfortable doing it. What they've been able to do with Knock now, as far as just let him do a pre-tape, WWE's got some world-class production value, and it shows in everything that they do. So, why not continue to do more of that? Because I think the other argument or the other thing you could say is, oh, well, get him a mouthpiece. If you keep presenting him like that, he doesn't need one.
No.
And I think that's a lot of, what people, and I've certainly thought that about him too, is like, okay, do we get somebody that, can do all the heavy lifting for him? Let him just do his thing in the ring. But no, they're onto something here with this. If they can do this for him, if they can do this for Asuka, it's going to be great.
Yeah, just let him be like a man of very few words and let his actions speak for him and, make him that sinister Nakamura, and he doesn't have to say much. And when he does say something, it means something.
Yeah.
It's an easy presentation to do.
Couldn't agree more. Overall, final thoughts on Payback.
It was a good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. Coming in, it was kind of, it felt like a B show, but it was great from, I think, start to finish. The cage match was awesome. Cena getting the rub to LA Knight was good. The Grayson Waller effect was kind of there. Like you said,
would you consider that a low light of the night?
I would. It's just to get Cody on the pay-per-view and keep his face out there and make sure we still know about Cody because he's not technically in a feud right now. Obviously, the tag match was great. I thought it was Austin Theory's best match on the main roster so far. And, the women's title felt important for the first time in months with Rhea. And then the main event, man, they have got me wanting Nakamura to beat Seth Rollins, which I don't know if that's what they wanted, but that is what they have me wanting.
I mean, realistically, is there anybody else you could see pinning? If Seth were to be pinned tomorrow for that championship, other than Nakamura, other than Gunther, because he's not officially in that world title picture yet. I mean, who else realistically are you seeing as somebody that can do that?
I mean, Cody can do it anytime he wants, but he doesn't want that title for some reason.
Minus the obvious ones.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see with Jey Uso too. Like that's another wrinkle now in your main event, because I don't think he's coming in to win the Intercontinental Champion. I think maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the one to take it off him. I don't know. But
that better be Gable. I mean, it won't happen tonight.
But yes, I would agree with that. But yeah, I mean, right now, Nakamura is that guy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, solid show. It seemed like very quick booking, just coming off a month after SummerSlam. But yeah, I think they got done everything that they wanted to do here. Very well paced show. I mean, there's really wasn't anything that I'm like, oh my God, I wish that wasn't on the show. And even down to the Great Smaller effect, like fine, whatever. If you wanted to make that your kind of marquee segment of sorts, sure, no big deal. But yeah, it could. That's something you could have easily done on Raw tonight. But got to get Cody on the card, pal.
Yeah, it's fine. It didn't, like you said, it wasn't anything like cringeworthy or go like, oh man, this is so boring.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long. It had its purpose, and that's fine.
Sure. Yeah, easy enough. On to the next.
Yeah, you took a 12-hour break, and now we're ready for the next card. Wrestling, it is everywhere, man. It is everywhere.
Yeah, it was a lot this weekend. It was a lot of wrestling this weekend. But yeah, all out the second half of essentially these bookend shows here, and certainly a lot less controversy than All In. So,
hey, first off, I want to say good job to the Chicago crowd. They didn't hijack the show. Tony Khan came out on Collision the night before and kind of addressed the crowd, and they didn't like it and they hated it and all that good stuff. But like that, the crowd that was there at All Out, like I didn't hear any CM Punk chants. I didn't hear, they booed the Young Bucks a little bit, but like nothing. They didn't hijack the show, which at this point, I think Chicago is kind of feeling the same way. Like, man, like, can you just grow up a little bit? And like, we had you, and now you're gone again. So I think they're almost kind of feeling the way you feel, right? About, I'm not going to get my hopes up anymore. I'm not going to cheer for this guy. It's time to move on. So shout out to the Chicago crowd. Great job for not hijacking the show last night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely surprised. I mean, there were reports that CM Punk signs were confiscated. Anyone wearing a CM Punk T-shirt had to turn it inside out if they wanted to remain in the venue.
Really?
That's Twitter for you. So I'll take that with a grain of salt. But
that's some Vince McMahon stuff right there.
Yeah. Well, Tony, he's learning. He's learning.
It's not, the signs don't surprise me, but the T-shirts, that one's all right. That's a little. His merch is still up on their website, by the way.
Yeah, well, whatever.
We're getting worked.
God, again, at this point, I just don't care. It's whatever. This is if he's writing for an audience of one, good for you. Whatever. Hope you're happy. But All Out 2023, I think we had a total of 11 matches between 0 Hour and main card. At least that's by my count. I mean, essentially, this was a show that was built in a week.
Not a bad show, though.
And it really wasn't. I'm pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to try to be as positive as I can talking about this card.
You and I might have different opinions then. I'm ready to go.
All right. Okay. Start with 0 Hour, the over the budget charity battle royal. Hangman Page wins. I believe that they're donating $50,000 to a Chicago public library fund or something along those lines, education based. Okay, this match was what it was. They wanted to do something for a good cause. No issue. Did Hangman Page actually select that charity though?
I don't know. I didn't watch 0 Hour, so I'm gonna leave the recap up to you.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean it is your typical battle royal. Like there, nothing super surprising there. It did come down to Hangman Page and Brian Cage. Ah, that rhymes. Yeah, but they said it was $50,000 that TK would donate to the charity of that individual's choice. I don't know. Like I said, good cause. I just don't necessarily. It seems a little questionable when you're in Chicago. It's called the Over the Budget Charity Battle Royal.
We made so much money from Wembley. We have too much. What a flex by Tony Khan.
Let's give some to Chicago because they're going to be super upset at us.
Yeah. I just saved a lot of money from Punk's contract.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Straight up termination with cause. Yeah. Yep.
I can't wait to see what CM Punk says.
Do you think he does go on another pod and just gives his side about this? We saw that worked out last time.
Yeah, he will. You think CM Punk is going to be quiet?
What was I thinking?
Yeah, CM Punk is not going to be quiet.
How many friends with podcasts does he have left?
He'll just go on Instagram and start posting stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody has a podcast these days. So, yeah.
We do. He can come on here. Yeah. CM Punk, come on this podcast, air your grievances.
Yeah, forget everything that I've said the last 61 minutes and then the last 28 episodes before this. And yeah, come hang out. It'll be a lot of fun.
We will welcome you anytime.
With open arms, okay?
Yes.
Have a Coke? No.
Oh, already off to a bad start.
I know. It's just too easy. Next up, we had Hikaru Shida, Willow Nightingale, and Sky Blue defeating Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante in a women's trios match. Now, I will say that I was also drafting a fantasy football team during most of this card, but from what I did see of this match, I'm just glad that all 6 of these women got a chance on the card here. I do really enjoy that for the most part. This was, we weren't seeing rehashes of matches from last week. Entirely different talents just being left off the show altogether. I think that it would have been really easy to run a lot of those matches back, but this was a true build that made it feel like, okay, well, you've got some anchored stars here. You had Better Than You, Bebe. You've got the Acclaimed, FTR. There were a handful, but it didn't feel like just an over rehash of what we had just seen the week before. So, hats off to all these women. I just like seeing them on the card.
Yeah, please put Athena back on AEW, please. Please. Yeah. She is too good to be stuck in ROH right now.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Next up, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass with Dennis Rodman. Yes, that Dennis Rodman defeating Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal in a defense of the AEW Trios Championship. I know that you will appreciate this here. So before this match kicked off, I think this was Bryce Rensburg that was supposed to call this match. And a last-minute referee change was made because Karen Jarrett was also present during this match. So instead of Bryce Remsburg calling this match, America's sweetheart Aubrey Edwards comes down the ramp and she takes over officiating duties for this match. A little bit of chirping and interaction, no guitar shots to the head or anything like that, though. But this match was what it was. I'm off the Satnam Singh train. I stop trying to make fetch happen.
I love him. I think it's fun. I'm having fun. He's not doing anything super harmful. Like, it's not like he's getting pushed to win the world title, Great Khali, but it's like he's not doing anything wrong. I'm okay with it. I mean, he's funny in his overalls. Like, I think AEW is doing a good job because they know the limitations he has. And they're not trying to push him as some kind of Andre the Giant 2.0, like the Great Khali was pushed. Like, he didn't come in and beat Kenny
Andre
Omega
the Giant
clean.
3000.
Yeah, whatever. Good job.
Thank you.
I also think it's funny that, they're in Chicago and they're like, hey, can we have CM Punk? And we have CM Punk at home instead of Rodman. Like, we have one tattooed controversial person. No, we have this tattooed controversial person. Let's just push him in there. He's from Chicago.
That's I think that was great. Yeah,
I tweeted you. What year is it?
Did
he come out in the NWO black and white? When's Jay
5
Leno
NBA
coming?
championships? Oh God!
Where's Karl Malone?
All right.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, well,
it is Jeff Jarrett.
tired of him too. Anyway,
Oh, you're fine.
sorry, I'm just crotchety today. Leave me alone. Main card time now. Got it kicked off once again with our Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, Better Than You, Bebe, taking on the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Great opener. This is just more to continue that storyline of these two. I mean, that's really it. Cole and MJF, they're having the time of their lives, it seems like, right now. It was cool to see MJF get to mix it up with Reynolds, who helped train him.
Yeah,
everybody's getting that time to shine, man.
Yeah, that was a fun little story that they kind of, educated me on in that match. Was I didn't know that he was trained by Alex Reynolds, so that was cool. It makes that match a little bit more intriguing because it just felt kind of random that the Dark Order won.
The babyface comeback spot was pretty slick too, with MJF getting the chair to the back of the neck. I don't know if you had heard this in the broadcast, but like once he actually goes down from taking that spot, they're rolling him over. You can hear MJF yelling, "Where's Adam? Where's Adam?" Like just those little touches and details that Max always gets right. Especially like I'm bought into babyface Max Friedman now. I'm still just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I mean, he's officially a babyface, but like
I don't think it is. I think he's face, man. I the note I took, MJF Cole, they're so over. Keep it going as long as possible. Like, just keep it going. You have a story. You can tell like a year-long story from this. Drop my phone. Sorry, guys. You can tell a year-long story, and I think everybody would be fine. Like, this is kind of their bloodline right now, and it doesn't feel like it's worn out. It's welcome. It's kind of gotten over organically. Just keep going. Keep going. There was a nice tease at the end of this match that you got me excited for, and I went back and watched. And,
Now, I do. It'd be remiss if I didn't show you this, but this is not the first time that specific shove has happened before.
Oh, I know. I'm a wrestling junkie.
Oh, yeah. I know. Now, for those that don't know at home, we're just going to take you a little bit back down memory lane with a little snippet that I found thanks to the good old Xverse, I guess is what it's called now. Okay, Twitterverse. It's still Twitter to us, damn it. But take a look.
Dude, I love it.
How great was that?
It was a great callback. It really, really was. It was a great callback.
Yeah. I mean, they're no strangers to their wrestling history, and I love that we are seeing respect for the past and how it all creates for better stories in the future. So
that had to be MJF's idea, right?
I can see that being the case.
It had to be.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
And then they got into it before Joe's match. The one thing I did notice was Cole didn't jump in there and help. He called for security, and security broke it up. So again, just a little clue as into what's going on.
Where were you? Yeah.
Just like he didn't get in there and break it up. He stood on the outside and let security break it up. So, just a little nugget.
Gotta love it. Samoa Joe defeated Shane Taylor to retain the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Molly Whopping man meat, bud.
Yeah,
plain and simple.
What I had down, like, it was a hard hitting match. I don't know much about Shane Taylor. It was a hard hitting match, and it got Joe over. We don't deserve Samoa Joe. He's one of the best to ever do it. And the reports are coming out that it sounds like he kind of rallied the locker room after the incident at All In. So it shows you he is the true locker room leader in there. And, when WWE let him go, I that was a bit surprising.
Yeah.
But it's a huge win for AEW. And we do not deserve Samoa Joe. When we look back at his career, we're going to go, man, we were lucky to have him.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the fact that we went from him being stuck in a poncho, him behind an announce desk, to mixing it up with world champion, still putting on world-class matches. I mean, this is almost a second prime for Samoa Joe, and I'm here for every second of it.
Yeah, and another one, another quick one was Nigel was fantastic on commentary.
Yeah.
Another one that, I am shocked WWE let go, because he
Yeah.
he's just so good at it. He brings a sense of importance to every match. Him and Excalibur
Yeah.
going at it, like back and forth is just really, really good. He's just so smooth on
There's
commentary. Go ahead.
There's a certain polish that kind of comes
Yeah.
with that he just has. It's a very refined presentation, as far as his style and what he does. He is as animated as Corey Graves when you need him to be, but it still has a little bit of that air of just, that British lore,
And he knows his history. Like that's the best part.
Yes.
Is the other part too is he's worked with most of all these guys back in Ring of Honor. Like when he calls a Danielson match, he's like, "Oh no, I remember this move. It's terrible." Like just that those little touches that he does. Like it's just him on commentary. Like please get him on commentary more if you're AEW. Like put him on Dynamite at this point. Like that is where he needs to be. So I enjoy him on commentary. That was another note that I threw down.
Yeah. Absolutely. Next up, Luchasaurus on behalf of Christian Cage. Yeah.
I'm going to correct you when you said it earlier. Edge and Christian, you mean Christian and Edge.
No. Or I guess Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. Who?
Did
you hear that? Yeah.
Who?
I still can't believe he did that though in the scrum. I love that. It's great. Anyway, Darby Allin doesn't win the TNT Championship is basically what we're getting at here.
God, got destroyed. How is this man walking? I have no idea. I mean, there's a legitimate question out there. Does Sting retire before Darby, or is Darby going to retire before Sting?
How much you want to bet Darby does a bunch of yoga and we just don't know it?
Oh, he has to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, something. Yeah, he's Pilates, yoga, acupuncture,
all of it.
The hanging upside down like a bat, whatever that thing is. He's got to do something.
Yeah, I mean,
one of the big issues I have with AEW. Why can't the TBS and TNT titles just be called TV championships? What happens if you move to a different network? Why can't they just be TV titles?
I mean, we don't necessarily need to worry about that anytime soon, though.
I know, but it's one of those things where I'm just like, oh, they're going for the TNT title. Like, just why can't it be the television title?
Because WBD's paying good money for that.
I know. It's one of those details that as a wrestling nerd I hate.
I don't know, but money talks, pal.
I know it does.
You tell me that all the time.
In this match, there was excuse me, didn't hit my cough button. In this match, there was a near fall where Darby hit Luchasaurus with like a top rope, like sunset power bomb kind of thing. I don't know the technical term, guys. I'm sorry. That was one of the closest 2 counts I have ever seen. I thought he won. I legitimately thought.
I give you that. Yeah.
They got me on that one. They really, really did. And then the pairing with Christian and Luchasaurus, I love it. I love this pairing. I wish we would see it more. Probably I should watch Collision, but I wish we could see it more on Wednesdays. But I love.
Who knows? We might be. I mean, that little quote unquote brand split is pretty much
they need to do it
now.
No, I think they need to do it.
Well, I mean, it's at this point you have no reason to split your roster anymore.
Yeah, I think you do. I think your roster is big enough to do it. I think if you split the roster, you keep the international title on one, you keep the TNT title on the other, the women's title on one, the TBS title on the other, have your world champion be a floater on both shows, and you're going to get talent exposed like a Miro, like a Hobbs, like a Ricky Starks, like the people that weren't on the big show last week that probably deserve to be on the big show that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
I think a split would work right now. And it's not out of necessity anymore. It's just out of like your roster is huge. Like I want to see everybody.
Sure. And could we also, and this just hit me, I think that we should also take a moment of silence for the legacy of the Real World Championship, as it's probably safe to say that it has made its last appearance on AEW television. So
never say never, pal.
You ruined the moment of silence. All right, next match.
Never say never. Never say never. Never say never. We're getting worked. It's all conspiracy.
Do you
Like
legitimately
R-Truth
think
back
that
in
we're
the
being
day.
worked here?
I have no idea. I really don't.
All right. Okay. Fine. Whatever.
We still haven't heard from Punk. That, I mean, when we hear from Punk, I will go, okay, depending on what he says. I don't know. It's wrestling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you never know what the hell is going on. We'll see.
True. All right.
I've been worked before.
Yeah.
You have too.
I have.
Yeah, I know.
A couple of times.
Trust me, I know. But guys, did you know that Eric helped Bryce win tag team champions?
I did.
I had to fit that in there for you, buddy.
I didn't even have to leave the state of Ohio to do it.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you ready to go to the match that Big E would be so proud of?
Yeah, let's talk some mollywhopping man meat, bud. Powerhouse Hobbs and Miro. Miro getting the W there. This crowd was actually chanting meat forever. Like, see what happens when you just let these guys have a chance, you know, give them some TV time, give them some pay-per-view time. I mean, this was one of the best Hobbs matches I think that I've ever seen for sure. Miro, it's just good to see him back on our TV screens again. He's too talented not to. You know, he came into AEW with a lot of fanfare and had a good run with the TNT Championship, and then it was just kind of a poof, see you bye, and now it's like, hey, surprise, I'm back. And Miro getting a much needed win. I think you said it was 2021 was the last time he got a win on pay per view.
Last time he was on pay per view.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's worse.
not a win. On.
Now, I am intrigued to get your take on this. You know, what?
I know exactly where you're going, and I don't even want to talk about
it. We kind of have to.
No. Nope.
It's literally it's literally a podcast. That's what we do.
I wrote down on my notes. I'm just gonna cut you off because I'm not talking about it. I wrote down on my notes. Miro is so underutilized. And I think you said that earlier. We'll get to what you want, but I think we said that earlier. You said it that Miro needs to be used. He needs to be on TV more frequently. He is a really, really good wrestler, and he has that presence. I haven't been super into the Redeemer character as far as like the religious aspects of it. I don't know how well that works in wrestling. And whoever, have your views, and that's fine. I just don't know if it works as well in wrestling. But him as a wrestler, it's awesome. The presence he has and everything. So go ahead and get to where you want to talk about. Go ahead.
So it seems like you think that Miro could use a little bit of a character change. Would that be safe?
Not this one. Why does everybody have to pose when they come out? Like,
it's kind of what you do on a wrestling television show.
No, Jeff Hardy, when he came out, he did his little dance before he went and saved his brother, and then whatever we're calling her came out, did her pose before she saves her husband from getting choked to death.
CJ, that's
run to the ring. Like, I hate it.
Do you hate is it more that you hate the presentation of how she debuted, or do you not want to see them paired up again?
I don't want to see them paired up again.
Why not?
Because of how it ended in WWE.
Okay, I didn't realize that Tony Khan and Vince McMahon were the same person.
They're getting there. He's taking T-shirts off people.
That's called trying to avoid a riot.
I don't know. I liked him when they wore like when he was the Bulgarian brute.
Rusev Day.
I don't want him. I don't want her in that because it was more about Lana Day. Like I don't need it. Like she doesn't.
Good reason.
Like she doesn't. She's not a great wrestler. She can't really talk. Like if she's just a strict valet that's going to stand out there and do nothing, fine. But I don't know. I don't think he needs it. I think he was doing just fine on his presentation, just tweak the character a little bit, but like that almost feels like a crutch. I don't
But
like
I mean,
when he was
you're
the
also
TNT
forgetting
champion, he didn't have anything, and he was great.
Yeah, but I think that you're forgetting that there's another layer to this as well. Is that he didn't exactly look thrilled to see her.
I wouldn't either. What was the
Okay,
last
so
time they interacted? You know what I mean? Was it with that Bobby Lashley stuff?
yeah,
So they're
I
still
was
kind
gonna.
of playing into the fact that happened.
We don't know that. Now, if they bring out somebody that looks like Bobby Lashley in the next couple of days, then okay, sure, like maybe a little tongue in cheek, but you would think that okay, if and we'll wait to see what the explanation is. But if it's like okay, if my wife is gonna come and try to help save the day, like you're not like gonna at least look somewhat happy to see her. Or, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I'm not married.
Well, it depends on what's happening. If she wants to come save me, if I'm getting choked out, sure. I don't pose at the top of the ramp, but come save me. I don't know. I'm very down on Lana, just the way, or CJ Perry, just the way she was presented over the last couple of years. Maybe AEW does a better job. I just don't know what she brings to the table besides being just being hot at this point. Like, I mean, isn't that what her Tron said was hot and flexible?
It did say hot and flexible.
Kind of sums up.
Maybe that is all that they're. I mean, it literally could just be as simple as that. That's what they're adding.
If that is what they're adding, cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
Don't let her. I don't need her on the mic because Miro was doing a great job on the mic.
Yeah.
Like I don't need her. It just feels unnecessary. Okay. And it feels like, oh, this is how we get Miro back on TV is let's put him with his hot wife.
Fair enough. You know what I do need more of though?
Chris Statlander.
Yeah, that was great for sure. Yeah. I mean, this I'm glad that this match made a main card. Should have been on All In last week, if you ask me. But this, I mean, this is some of the best work of her career that she's doing right now. I like that. I mean, she feels like a threat in this division, and especially having come off of a very lengthy Jade Cargill run, this is the perfect fit for her. Ruby Soho, I'm glad also got some television time here. I am particularly surprised at the interference that was run by she's delusional starlet Toni Storm. I mean, I don't know how she came up with this character, but this is one of the coolest things going in wrestling right now, I think. I am 100% done with the Outcasts. It's just, thanks for the memories, even if they weren't so great. And to have Toni Storm now, yeah, right. I'm full of them. I'm just, yeah. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, just to see her come out, run the interference, cause this championship. We know that's going to continue to, get some friction between the three of them. Chris was really in no jeopardy of losing this championship. This kind of is what it is. What's next for Ruby? What's next for Saraya? You have to think that this trio is about to become a dynamic duo.
Yeah, I think they'll stick together. Statlander, I think, is very, very good. I can see maybe the hesitancy to kind of push her higher up the card due to kind of the injury history. Let's let her be consistent for a little while. And that's not her fault. But like she was very, very impressive. That was one thing I wrote down. Like she was awesome. Like that was a really, really good showing from Statlander. And yeah. I would like to see her in that main title scene, but I understand the hesitancy. She's had those 2 major knee injuries, and
there's one in each knee too, right?
Yeah, and she's wearing the big bulky braces, like a Texas rattlesnake used to wear, as they said on commentary. What? But the Toni character is amazing. I love it. It was funny on commentary. I think it was Excalibur. It was like, oh, she lost her mind. And Jim Ross just subtly, well, maybe. And it was just like that little subtle line was hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the end of the Outcast. I could see Toni going for Soraya's title, which would be a fun dynamic. But yeah, let Toadie run with this character and break her away from that group. Have her be this delusional, crazy, crazy character. Give Chris Statlander something to sink her teeth into. Let's not just forget about her. But
I mean, you've been calling for Athena to make her way over to AEW. I mean, I think that this is the right way to do it. Yeah, why not?
That'd be a good match. Yeah, it was good to see the women's match on the card. I agree with you. It should have been on All In.
Yeah. Yes, you're the one that came up with the little mnemonic device, all in the stadium, all out on suspension.
Yeah, but then they got fired, and it kind of ruined everything.
Well, only one person got fired. Yeah.
Yeah, but good match. I was happy to see him on the card, and this is why I think you need the brand split to, to showcase like these two would do great on second match of the night, first match of the night. I think it would be get your titles on the pay-per-views. I think that is kind of the biggest takeaway from these last two cards is get your titles on the pay-per-views and make them feel like a big deal. You have enough of them. Put them on. Like have each title have something mean something, and you produce great pay-per-views.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure we'll go into kind of our thoughts on the whole when we look at booking these two pay-per-views back to back. But I mean, I think that this was a very relatively well-balanced card with the talent that got on it, where it's like, yes, there are some major names that we need to anchor this show because you still need your selling points if you are trying to get out casual viewer that may want to pick up something new, that may have heard about what happened last week and want to see how it's followed up. But then there's all these other talents that get the chance to get the rub, and even though they didn't get the Wembley payday.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. This next match was just bonkers. This was just bonkers. Bryan Danielson defeated Ricky Starks in a strap match. This is, at least in my personal mind, a potential match of the year contender. Dark horse. That's just me.
Bryan Danielson is the best wrestler in the world right now. I will say it with all the confidence in the world. He is, the fact that he is still technically a heel and how over he is with the crowd, how he can go and have a technical masterpiece and then have a hardcore strap match is fantastic. The fact that he worked this entire match with a broken arm and kind of said at the media scrum of, we had to work around it a little bit. You noticed I didn't throw a single strike with that arm. And it was like, how good are you to put on a 20-plus minute match and not throw a strike with your left arm?
Yeah.
Like, he is unreal. And I'm so happy that we're seeing this run with Danielson as he kind of bookends his career. And like, I feel lucky that we are getting to witness how great he is. Happy that Starks got on the card with all the issues with Punk. He got on the card. He got a spot, which was good. Danielson winning, that's fine. I don't know if it hurts Stark anymore. He didn't tap out, so that was good. He passed out.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
But yeah, Danielson just kind of reaffirms that dude is the best wrestler in the world right now. Like, full package. He can cut a promo. He can cut a heel promo. He's amazing as a heel promo. He can cut that ultimate babyface promo and get you on his side. He can work any type of match. Like, that guy is, 10 out of 10, just fantastic.
Yeah. And, especially, given this media scrum, he looked super conflicted when asked about his contract and kind of what's next for him. You can tell that, yes, he wants to enjoy life, but at the same time, it's like, but I can still do this at a really high level, and it's very different. Yeah. And it's so different from his WWE run where, basically once they, kind of determined, like, we're not going to run any more tests on you. Like, we're not clearing you. That's not going to change, and now they got to be kicking themselves because now another company has gotten, another 2 years of Bryan Danielson. And now it's just, he's not only, cemented himself as far as his spot on the roster, but as essentially, Tony Khan's right-hand man. I mean, he has
Mhm.
already said, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, Brian Daniels going to tell you what to do, so it's just that's a testament. I would agree with you there.
Yeah, and I think he's producing stuff
Yeah.
on Collision, right?
Yeah. Very,
Yeah,
very heavily involved in creative. Yeah.
just to have his mind in that company compared to the other mind that was in the company that was the right-hand man. Like Danielson, he loves pro wrestling, and it's
Yeah.
good for the other side as an AEW to have someone on their side that has just so much knowledge and love for pro wrestling that I have faith that he'll be with that company and the company will stay alive for a very, very long time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you see next for Ricky Starks, if anything?
I could, maybe he moves on to, I think a mid card feud would be where he moves on to. Um, I don't know if he's ready for that main event scene quite yet.
Oh.
We'll talk about Orange Cassidy later, but I don't know if he goes that route. Maybe it's a Darby Allin route. I don't know. I think they have something with Ricky Starks. I just don't like this Punk thing kind of derailed some things.
Yeah.
So they have to get it back on track. And this was a good pop for Danielson, but Danielson's going to be a heel moving forward. Maybe it's something with like a Hangman. That would be a fun little feud.
To be fun. Yeah. I like it.
Just he needs to go over somebody that the crowd loves, and
Yeah.
I think I'll go Hangman. Like that would be a good program for him to, try to get some wins over a former world champion.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm a fan. Little tag team action next. We had Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli defeat Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata in a tag team match. Kingston with the Terry Funk tribute. Loved it. Claudio sucks eggs.
Yeah. Well, he hates Claudio. And that's
he does
very
hate Claudio. He does hate Claudio.
This match was fine. I don't think it was anything spectacular. I wouldn't have been mad if this was left off the card. I will say that I would love to see Shibata and Claudio go at it. That would be
really cool. Yeah.
That would be really, really fun. They had a little brief interaction. I'd like to see more of that. It seems like they're going towards Eddie Kingston and Claudio for the Ring of Honor Championship.
I like it. I mean, because we've got what, Full Gear, and then we'll probably have what, Death Before Dishonor in December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have the that new show that they're doing in October. The Inoki.
Oh yeah, Wrestle Dream. Yeah.
So I don't know if they do it that soon, but this match was fine. I'll say that. Like this could have main evented a Dynamite, and it wouldn't have been any different. But good to get him on the card. Wheeler, I think has lost a little bit of momentum. I would say since pinning Kenny Omega. So maybe they start to build him up a little bit more. Now that the BCC is whole again with Danielson, maybe we get a little bit more storyline with that. But yeah, this match was fine. Nothing special for me.
Easy enough. Next one. This I gotta say, this result surprised the hell out of me.
I told you.
I know.
I told you.
He's really got to stop. He really has to stop that. Anyway, Takeshita has defeated Kenny Omega, one-on-one match.
Clean.
The losing streak continues. Yeah, I was clean. I know. I know, dear. I was there. I saw it.
I was not. I watched it this morning.
Yeah, it's I mean, this match was what you thought it would be. And I think that we thought that this would be a clinic between the two of them. It was. I think that they left room for more here. So I hope that we get a rematch of Full Gear. I think that I think there's more to be dissected here. The involvement in Callis trying to get that screwdriver shot in. I think it's only a matter of time before Kenny finally gets his hands on that screwdriver and gives Don another matching scar on the other side of his forehead there.
Yeah, I could see that. A couple notes I wrote was AEW has really stepped up on the pre-match promos. I really enjoyed this pre-match promo to this match and then they had a couple more later on. So they've really stepped it up. I know they had some former WWE guys come in the production side. So hats off there. Hey, the referees got smarter. What a concept. Isn't it amazing when that happens? Oh, he saw the screwdriver that's painfully obvious in his hand. Great job.
I mean, it is a neon green handle. It's kind of hard to miss.
Well, they would have missed it 2 months ago. And you know they would have. Okay. They've been missing the neon green spray paint can.
I'll give you that. I will give you that.
What a concept. You had texted me last night that, and I don't know if it was during the entrance or when he won, that Takeshita didn't get much of a reaction. Are you saying when he came out or when he won?
When he won, nothing. Crickets.
You think it was more of like shock? Like when The Undertaker lost? Like not at that level, but like, oh, he just beat Kenny Omega clean in a singles match.
Not really. Like it just felt more of like what he got last week. Like it felt the exact same, you know, and you would think that because there were so many shenanigans that led up to that finish where he did get the clean win, that there would have been something, but it just, I don't know what's not clicking here. Because I mean, he came in with a lot of momentum and a lot of hype, a lot of praise. I know that I had never been exposed to his work before, and I mean, he's great. I just don't know what it is that isn't translating to where like this is the reaction that he's getting. You know, I think that, you know, pairing him with Callis was great. I do like this story of since Kenny has split from Callis, he's been on a losing streak. Now it's the, you know, are we going to eventually see him turn on the Elite and realign with Callis to get back to his winning ways? There's just so many different, you know, webs of what it is that might be, that you might be able to explore here. So we'll see. But I mean, this was a good match. I feel bad for Takeshita that there was not much of a reaction to this win because again, it was a good win.
And I noticed it too after he won, and I immediately wrote down like Takeshita can be a big star, but maybe not in AEW. Maybe it's with a New Japan crowd where he gets a little bit more over.
Okay.
Or maybe it's because, you know, this is kind of a fresh heel turn or something. But it's starting to become a little bit more noticeable that he is not getting any reaction. Like he's not getting boos, he's not getting cheers. It's silent. And then I also wrote down, please keep Kenny Omega in singles because this was a fantastic match. Some of the bumps he took were crazy, and you know, I don't care what anybody sells. That man, what anybody says, that man knows how to sell.
Yes, he does.
Keep him in singles matches. I want to continue the singles run with Kenny Omega and eventually get him back up to the world title.
Right on. Now we are on to our co-main event. Sorry, forgot about a match here. Bullet Club Gold defeated FTR and
here we go.
Young Bucks.
Yes. Yeah.
What? Leave me alone. Okay, I got to shout out the boys. This is one of my favorite wrestling T-shirts. All right,
it's a good one. I will say
it is. Thank you. This was a solid little 8-man tag. I'm big on Bullet Club Gold. I'm fully invested. Gun Club was a great addition. I love that they should continue to be the anchor of collisions because I mean we had talked about. You know, you and I talked about this a lot as far as Jay White, whether he should have gone to WWE, whether he should have signed with AEW, what would have been the better choice. He came in hot at AEW. It seemed like he cooled off a little bit. And now Bullet Club Gold is doing, you know, some of the best work, you know, of the year right now. Getting a chance to work with two of the best tag teams on the planet. I mean, it's that shows.
Yeah, no, the Bullet Club Gold has won me over. I was not very high on them when they first started because it was just two people.
Yeah,
the Guns have really added to that. I love their entrance. Their entrance is amazing.
I mean, everybody. Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
it's all you, man.
I'm not going.
I was just gonna say I love the homage to Triple H with the water spitting, but they're just doing it in the
in the little squirt
in the little gunfire. Like it's just great. It's a nice touch. Juice Robinson is all kinds of unhinged, which I think is really cool. Like I mean, when you look at when you look at that character and then you look at the delusional starlet Tony Storm. It's just like, oh, okay, that tracks. Yeah. That's cool.
Well, she might be a fun addition to Bullet Club. Playing that real life relationship like that could be something fun.
Has there ever been a women's member of Bullet Club?
I think there's been one. It was that.
Okay.
It was that girl that dressed up as the bunny. Very
gotcha.
early on in the Bullet Club. I'm not super familiar, guys. Please don't torch me on.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. So yeah, no. If there is anything that we're missing as far as the history of that, let us know in the comments. We just genuine curiosity.
But this match was really, really fun. It didn't feel as long as it was. I think it was like 22 minutes, and it didn't feel like that long. Once it broke down about halfway through, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
I still think
love the Shatter.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I love the Shatter Machine with Cash and Nick, and then the BTE trigger with Dax and Matt. Cool stuff.
And the super kicks with the odd couples and everything.
Yeah, that
was good. See, and that's what I'm talking about. Like once it started breaking down, it was like, oh man, you're on my team.
Yeah.
We got to do our finishers. I guess you're doing it with me. Like that's some fun booking. I still think Jay White can be a big singles star for that company. But again, I do not mind the detour right now if this is the kind of stuff that he's going to do. And then the trash talk between moves was really fun. When you got the Guns talking trash in between moves, and you got the Young Bucks talking trash in between moves. It kind of adds to that. It's like when Kevin Owens used to do it. It was hilarious. And then the finish was awesome. I love the finish of that match.
Very much so.
This is right into the switch, or is it Switchblade or whatever he Abigail.
I think it's just Switchblade. I think
that was such a cool finish.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, FTR Young Bucks. I would imagine that there's going to be more. I mean. And I think it was you that said this, that there should be, kind of like that best of 7, like the Elite did with the trios titles last year, that best of 7. Do that again with these guys, because, even though, yes, we've seen the rubber match of them, find me a person that does not want to see the Young Bucks and FTR go at it in a best of 7 series, even after that. And I mean,
I'm looking.
There's nobody here that,
I don't see anybody. If
you
don't enjoy tag team wrestling, then I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't enjoy tag team wrestling, go watch Monday Night Raw.
Ooh, burn. The Viking Raiders got a big win.
I really want this to work for them this time.
We're talking AEW. Don't veer. Oh. Does he not get a tag team title match anymore?
Well, he's about to be. Oh no, but he's about to be in the main event. Is he not? And he gets to take on who?
Go to the next match. Don't even get me started.
The podcast that everybody. Main event time. Orange Cassidy, Jon Moxley, AEW International Championship. Mox walking away with the International Championship for his first reign. Man.
Wow.
Seriously, it is. It is a toss up when you want. If you want to look at who the MVP is for AEW for 2023, it's one of these two guys. And I think that there was. I think a lot of people would make that argument that Cassidy edges out Mox here. I mean, these last 2 weeks. I mean, Orange Cassidy has just. Laid it all on the line, and this was. I think that this was one of those, this is probably the toughest test that he's had for that championship to date. And I love the story that they've been telling as far as, okay, these defenses they're mounting up. The injuries are going to linger a little bit longer. And eventually it's just kind of, when does your body give out and when are you not able to do it? Mox swoops in at the right time and new champ to take over that mantle. Cassidy has done a phenomenal job giving that title credibility, especially because I think a lot of us were worried about what place this championship would have on the card, whether it would be, the fact that it's main event at Dynamite, it's been on Collision. Yeah, we expected it to be on Rampage. I think more so we thought it'd be Dark and Dark Elevation up until, the second show was created. So now to transition that from Orange Cassidy to John Moxley, it's already superstar. He's already superstar status as it is. So, I mean, this is another one of those championships that, now that the real world championship will probably go the way of the television championship, the 24/7 championship, the hardcore championship, the women's tag team
Divas.
championships, those couple of times, the Divas championship. There's that one that Jim Duggan found in a trash can. Yeah, no, it's going to be cool. Yeah.
I love Orange Cassidy saying, "I'm Orange Cassidy and I do not have a catchphrase." I that is one of my favorite things in wrestling right now. I don't know why, but it's like when he said it, when he cut the promo on Dynamite and he finished with that, I was like, that was fantastic. And then he cut it again in the package. I love that. I love that presentation of that. It's hilarious.
It's a little Easter egg that was in his Videotron entrance. I don't know if you'd seen that on Twitter. Did you?
Mm-mm. No.
So you know how he's got basically insert cool phrase here, like little stuff like that. So he had a very simple one, 3 words: "I'm so tired." I mean, it like he's been. I mean, he's basically been that Seth Rollins role when it comes to just you're building a new championship, you're giving it credibility, you're defending it all over the place. Orange Cassidy, man, he has done some things in 2023 to cement his status and his legacy, and I mean that's a guy that any promotion would be extremely lucky to have on the roster. He's just he fits with AEW like a glove.
Yeah, I wrote down Mox is a menace because he is. I mean, this heel unhinged Moxley is awesome. I love that Orange Cassidy wanted to win by countout. Continues to tell that story about, man, I'm just beat up. I'm trying to win any way possible. Mox winning was the right call. I think it was time.
Yeah.
And then this whole title run for Orange Cassidy has really won me over, as I could see him being AEW World Champion. That's how much I think this title run has helped him and established him as I can win the big title, and for me, it's now believable. When he was doing the Mimosa match with Jericho, I was like, all right, well, that's cool. But like out of the 4 pillars that they're looking at, besides MJF, like Orange Cassidy, I think is right there. I would say Darby and Orange Cassidy are right there, neck and neck.
Okay, yeah, because that was actually going to be my follow-up question to you is, okay, you see him as a world champion. When we think of the other 4 pillars, especially the ones that were in that lackluster Double or Nothing main event, I know that at least certainly at the time of that match in May, you didn't want to see Jack win that match, which is fine. I don't think that you wanted to necessarily see Sammy win that match either, which I can understand as well. Of those, okay, we'll say these 3: Orange Cassidy, Sammy Guevara, and Jack Perry. Who wins first world championship of those 3?
Orange Cassidy.
Still think so? Okay.
I think he wins it before Darby too. I think you can throw Darby in there. Because I think Darby, I think you want to try to get it on him before he retires at the age of 31. But Orange Cassidy just leveled up so much with this title run. I think Jack Perry with the new heel character can get there. I think Sammy needs some work.
Sammy needs to be as far away from Chris Jericho as possible.
And hopefully that's sooner rather than later.
I mean, I think that it helped to have that pairing to establish this company. It's not, I mean, I think now we're looking at law of diminishing returns anytime these 2 are on screen together now. I mean, Chris Jericho, we know, is Jericho. Like, he's in his own stratosphere, whatever. But, I mean, I don't necessarily think that we're seeing anything new or groundbreaking or innovative from Sammy Guevara now, having been a part of the association for the last 4 years.
No. And like Orange Cassidy, I think just has that presence now where he has the theme song. Like when the theme song hits, the crowd pops. He comes out, he puts the thumb up, and that one sad firework pops up, but it fits his character. He carries the title in his backpack. He has the shades. He puts the hands in the pockets. the thing that I liked about this program was the promos he cut about I'm too small. I was never going to make it. Like that's how you get me invested into it. And I think they did a really, really good job building him up. And I think he takes some time off, and that's cool. He deserves it. But when he comes back, that guy should be in the main event scene, no doubt.
I certainly hope so. I mean, there's just too many awesome things that he can do, and especially because AEW is a company where their world championship, doesn't have the word heavyweight in it. Mm-hmm. So the sky's the limit for anybody that wants to, jump ship over there or do their thing and have a shot at it, because it doesn't really matter how you look. I mean, I don't necessarily know that we're all thinking of, Max Friedman as a WWE, Universal Champion anytime soon, but I mean, he fits in right here, and we'll certainly see what 2024 has to, say, but just saying. Any final thoughts on this show?
I do. I have one final question for you.
Okay.
Was this better than All In? Yes.
No.
Ooh. I think yes.
And so what exactly is the criteria that you're looking at when you say that?
So I thought like match quality was better because it wasn't as many multi-man matches. That was the thing that I kind of got, that kind of took me out of All In, was there were so many multi-man matches.
Yeah.
And this one, it felt like legitimate feuds, even though they were built a week before, but like it was a nice balance rather than just multi-man. Let's get everybody on the card kind of thing, where even like Miro and a powerhouse Hobbs was like, it felt like a fight. It felt like a important blood feud between these two men that just aren't getting along. Shane Taylor and Samoa Joe, like I liked that as a singles match. I think I just liked the fact that this card had more singles matches, and like a Kenny Omega and Takeshita got to blow it off here. I think it would have been better if they would have blown it off at All In Wembley. Yeah. But I like this card better than I liked All In, and please don't attack me.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll allow me to take some of the heat off of you when I say that Payback was the better of the shows this weekend.
Whoa.
Not sorry about it either.
Ah, man. I want to hear your reasoning.
Well, first of all, I'm still not crazy about the week build that we got to all out. Becky and Trish, the blow-off took a little too long to get here, but once they got inside that cage, left it all in the ring. Okay. John Cena played his role to perfection. I mean, it was very tongue-in-cheek and very meta about, okay, you're the host of Payback. What's that mean? And he took that as a chance to do literally everything. He was a guest referee. He brought back his Southpaw Championship Wrestling alter ego. He had a lot of fun just being in that spot and in that role. It wasn't about him. He gave LA Knight the rub that, and that vote of confidence that I think everybody has been wanting to see somebody give him. We got a hell of a street fight with Kevin, Sammy, Judgment Day, involvement of JD McDonough, Rhea Ripley putting Kevin Owens through the barricade there. Rollins and Nakamura, that was a phenomenal story that they told in the span of a month. And it was simple but effective. A very basic story. You have a bad back. I'm going to target your bad back. I'm going to make sure that your family doesn't get to enjoy you as a human being anytime by the time I'm through with you. Like it's just those little things. Start to finish, very well paced, a lot of cool moments. Not saying that All Out was a bad card by any means. Loved the strap match. Loved Mox and Cassidy. Adam Cole, MJF, they got the best story going in AEW right now. But yeah, Payback was better for me.
Okay. That's fair. I enjoyed both cards because I don't take sides.
Yeah, this is your periodic episodic reminder. It's okay to like both.
It is okay to like both. And I enjoyed both this weekend. And I'm probably going to enjoy it both this week.
Good.
I like wrestling.
That's what we like to hear. Yeah. Wrestling is for everybody.
It is. It is. It is.
Any final thoughts before we take this one home? We're getting close to the 2 hour mark here, bud.
Yeah, this was a long one, but we had two big shows.
Yeah.
Thank you, technology. Thank you, technology. Thank you,
Yeah.
technology, for sticking with us for 2 hours. Enjoy talking wrestling with you as always, and excited to see what this week has for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple of more great shows coming up. Be on the lookout for announcements. Remember to like, share, subscribe. All of our socials are on the QR code above. Thank you so much for listening or watching the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We will be talking to you guys very, very soon. Thanks so much.